What's up, B Latina? Happy Friday for those of you that are on the East Coast. Happy Friday, and I guess happy that you're not working anymore. For those of us that are in California, well, we still got a couple hours left. Like I said, happy Friday. I'm very excited. Once again, my name is Benjamin. My pronouns are he, his, him, él, and you can find me under Perez the Advisor. Perez the Advisor. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me pretty much there. I mean, I have other spaces, but pretty much you can find me there. All my content, I talk about being first generation in this country, about the college experience, about Greek life, for those of you that were fraternities and sororities. I also talk about what does it mean to be Latino male and balancing and working towards, fixing working on your traumas, mental health, and all these things. So once again, that's me, Benjamin, and thank you for joining this BEReal conversation called the segment. I said essentially Be Real with me, essentially, So sorry, yeah, I just had a phone call. I was just meeting a couple students. I just had another Instagram live on my own Instagram. So I ando por todos lados, I'm over here, I'm over there, but I am ready to have this amazing conversation with an amazing guest who I have their bio right here. So I think I saw them already on here. Let me see where you at. Okay, there you are. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest. So my guest of today is Laura Guerra Lopez. She is a second-year student in the dual language program at the Miami-Dade College Honor College. She is currently studying political science while on a pre-law track. Laura is dedicated to service and operates her own nonprofit organization, Corazón Contento, or for English, Corazón Contento, Happy Heart Foundation. It's the whole thing. Where she creates unique service learning opportunities for students while offering aid to the most affected Venezuelans suffering from the humanitarian crisis. Laura is highly recognized for her efforts in community organizing and her academic achievements, including being named a 2021 Coca-Cola Leaders of Promise Scholar. This is pretty sick, y'all. So let me go ahead and invite her to join me. A ver, ¿dónde estás? Feliz viernes a todos. A ver, oh, there you are. All right. So let me see. ¿Dónde estás? She's going to jump in. She's going to come in any minute now. Oh, wait. ¿Otra vez? Okay. Ay, Dios. I accepted the invite. Let me see. Technical difficulties, y'all. Let me invite her again. Ya te invité. Just waiting, just saying. But yeah, so for all of y'all that don't know me, like I said, my name is Benjamin. My pronouns are he, his, him. Once again, you can find me under Perez the Advisor on TikTok and on Instagram. So, yes, Laura. ¿Dónde estás, Laura? Laura no está. Laura se fue. I'm just kidding. Oh, let me see. Where are you at? All right, so I'm going to send you an invite. And let me know if you see it or not. Do y'all know that song? That one, that Laura song? Isn't able to join? No, what's going on? I've accepted your request. It says somehow you can't join, so I don't know. I don't want to turn it off and then turn this back on. What if you leave and then come back and try to? If not, then maybe your personal one. I mean, I'm requesting. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I accepted you. A ver. ¿Qué tal si if this one doesn't work, what if you try your personal one? Maybe that one works. I know that we were trying to do this one, but if it doesn't work, No sé. I don't know. Sometimes our internet, sometimes our technology. A couple weeks ago, I was trying to have an Instagram live and it wasn't I was here talking and pointing and doing all these things and even yelling, and no one was able to be on here. No one was on the live. No one was here. And I was like, ¿Cómo es posible? It's when that time when the when Instagram just crashed. Remember that time? So yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah. Okay, so the way okay, there you are. I see you, Laura Guerra Lopez. Let me invite you to join, or I'm just going to accept your request. If this doesn't work, I'm going to freak out. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, so maybe it was the other one, maybe it was the other account, quién sabe qué está pasando, but don't worry, like we're still talking about Corazón Contento, the Happy Heart Foundation, and all that, So, but thank you for joining me, and welcome. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mucho gusto.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you to Be Latina for this wonderful opportunity to talk about my nonprofit.
Yes, I'm excited. Like I tend to, connect with professors or folks who are doing like their professions, but I've also had connected on my own Instagram lives with students, like actual students. This is what I do. I work with students in college. So feel comfortable. I mean, I'm not saying that you're nervous, but just, be yourself. I'm not going to ask you like, I have you all these questions here, so no pressure. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where is home for you?
Well, I am a Miami native. I was born and raised here, but I spent a lot of my childhood going to Venezuela, where my parents grew up. So I would say part of my heart is there because a big part of my family still lives there, but Miami is home.
So your family is Venezolanos, and your parents came to this country, and then you were born here, no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, and when I think about family and my parents and my experience, family is like the core. It's my core. Mi cultura, mi gente that's like my foundation. What are one or two of your core values?
Well, family definitely is a big thing. I grew up with just my parents in this country, so for me, both of them are my core. I would definitely say that service is something that I've always been interested in since I was younger. So service is definitely one of my cores as well, being able to help other people. And I would definitely say education. I would say that's a big pillar in my life is my family, service, and education.
I love it. I love that. Um, I agree with you. I'm growing up, I wasn't really much of like service was my thing, but I seen my parents helping others in their own way. Now it's become much more of a core value for me, and what I do. So I'm happy that you found it and you acknowledge it and you're to that, no, to that. So that's super cool. It's a super awesome thing to have. And okay, cool. So like we got that out of the way. You said who you are and the values. Now tell me a little bit about your college experience. What's your goal? I saw that you are, let me go back. You are studying political science on a pre-law track. ¿Cuál es la meta? What's the goal within like, for your major in your field? What do you see yourself doing?
Well, I want to go to law school. I want to graduate and get my JD and become a lawyer. And I think what I mostly want to do is constitutional law, working with public policy. I definitely like to have a career maybe with the ACLU, just working in the private sector of the government. And like I said, public policy. I definitely want to try and help people and make a sustainable future better for everyone else.
La cultura. We mentioned, I referenced it a little bit. No, ¿qué significa para ti, like culture? What does culture mean to you?
For me, culture has a lot to do with my traditions within my family. It definitely has a lot to do with who I am and what I'd like to do within that realm. So for me, culture definitely has to do with maybe the food that we eat at my house, the stories that we tell, the way that we relate to each other. I definitely think culture goes beyond maybe just like reading and kind of the arts of it all. I think there's a lot that is beyond the surface. So I definitely think that's how I would describe culture.
Yeah, like para mí, like cultura is like such a beautiful thing. It's like you described it beautifully, but it's hard to like explain sometimes un sentimiento, no? Like you have to like feel it to understand it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when we talk
exactly.
about Latinos or Latinx, like they all try to box us in one, like we're just one culture. No, we're not. Like we're so much, like Miami's different from San Francisco, Venezuela's different from Mexico and Puerto Rico. So it's just like cultura is mucho. So it's something too hard to explain, but it's more of a feeling, no? So un sentimiento, like you mentioned, food, music, family, traditions, anything, So I love that because I ask you this because I'm curious, you've been so involved in your community since such a young age. Where did this passion come? ¿De dónde viene?
Well, for me, the passion comes from when I was younger. Like I said before, I would go to Venezuela and I would just see how slowly we couldn't go as much. And my parents have always been really involved in telling me things as it is, and they always kind of explain to me what happened in Venezuela, how things got to the point where they are today. They've always been very mature with me, so slowly I kind of started realizing, okay, this is the problem, this is where we're getting. And throughout school, I was always interested in democracy, which is why I'm studying political science. So when I got to the age that I was able to kind of start something on my own, that I realized that it was possible, that I didn't necessarily need to be older, or that I didn't necessarily need to be at a different financial point in my life, that it was accessible and feasible for me to start a nonprofit, for example, and have that own initiative myself. I decided to just go for it. And like I said, we help with the most necessitated people in Venezuela. So it's really just finding people and communicating with the community over there and detailing a need and seeing what we can do to help them in that community and in that moment.
That's sick. That's sick. I mean, that's so cool. Sorry. That's very cool because what I heard is that your parents empowered you, you know, that they have empowered you to see and to be able to do this. And yeah, I mean, it's so cool. Como te digo, porque con mi familia, like my parents empowered me in different ways, you know, in different ways. And like I told you, seeing them help others, family, friends, etc., community members, now I get to do it, and I didn't realize it, no, like I said in the beginning. But okay, so we have that. I'm curious, are you are you the first in your family to go to college here in the United States? Are you first generation?
Yes, I'm a first generation student.
Okay. How is it navigating that for you? Like, I know it's a little bit, you know, going back to the college, but how is it navigating that for you, you know, with all these things that you do? You're so involved in a nonprofit. ¿Cómo es? Like, is it challenging? Do you feel like you have good support systems?
Definitely, I have a good, great, amazing support system within my parents. Like you said, la familia es todo, and for me, that's super present. But being a first generation student within Miami, it is a little bit difficult sometimes to see maybe the struggles that other students feel, because a lot of us are first generation. But like we were saying before, it's not a monolithic experience. Everyone has their own ways of navigating it. I was fortunate enough to be born and raised in this country, so for me, it's different than it is for some other students. But dealing with first generation, being a first generation college student and applying to college was a very difficult and daunting process for myself. So with my nonprofit, one of the things that I've been able to do that is one of the biggest projects and one of that I'm the most proud of is a first generation college guide. So it's to help other students applying to colleges so that they can see what it's like, answer some of their most pressing questions. And the most important is that it's a guide by students for students. So it takes a little bit of like the elite and taboo air around some of the things, some of the topics surrounding colleges, because it's being broken down by students who have digested it and understood it in the same way that you might understand it.
Yes, no, snaps to that, you know, porque, you know, when sometimes, like, let's say we go to the financial aid office or we're trying to, you know, I don't know, go do things that we got to do as students, sometimes we don't know what's going on. We see these things and like they're in terms of like I don't even know what is a, you know, 1040A, like what is that, you know, I've never done my taxes, like what are we talking about? So like all these things. And I think I was doing a little bit of research on tu página, and I was able to go to this YouTube channel. There's like a couple videos there, and like as you and a couple other students breaking down certain things, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, you know, like you introduce yourself, who you are, your major, etc., and then like you're breaking down something. I forgot exactly what it was because I saw it last night, but y'all were breaking down something. Like, this is what I'm talking about, like students helping students feeling empowered to share and to help others, which is what you do. No, so let's jump into Corazón Contento. Happy, wait, hold up, I don't want to butcher it. So Corazón Contento Happy Heart Foundation. Así is the whole name, right? Corazón
Yeah.
Contento Happy Heart Foundation. At first I thought, oh, it's a translation, but no, it's the whole name. So Corazón Contento Happy Heart Foundation. Tell me a little bit about that. When did this start and why did it start?
So it started when I was in high school. There's this thing in Miami. It's called the Silver Night. It's like the Silver Night Award. So it's by the Miami Herald newspaper. And I found out about it when I was in ninth grade, and I decided that's something I would like to pursue one day. I would have loved to have been part of that cohort. And when I was younger, my dad and my mom and I, we always talked about how one day we would love to have a nonprofit and we would like to help people. And I had a wonderful teacher in high school who told me, well, you can do that now. It's not that hard. And she helped me figure out that I could handle it now. It didn't necessarily need to be something that I needed to do when I was a professional. That what we're going, it's breaking down the taboo surrounding certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So with the support of my parents, I was able to start Corazón Contento Happy Heart Foundation. And it started around 2019, when I did the first drive, and it was a toy drive for orphan children in Venezuela. And we collected more than 100 toys that first year.
Wow, wow. Empezó before pandemic. So,
Yeah.
you have this and then boom, this is so cool. Like a lot of people talk about helping others, but a lot of people don't do the actual helping others, and I think you, again, hearing the support system of parents, of teachers, of them, since I said, you can do this, right? Like, that's so cool. Like, I wish we need more folks in education, just like that teacher who told you, you could just do it now. Let me show you the way. We need more people like that in education. We need more people, our people, nuestra gente, nuestra comunidad, in spaces that can help, not just us here. You're like not just helping Latinos here, but you're helping Latinos back home, like Latinx, Venezolanos, because that's what está tu corazón. This. I need my students to watch this live. I'm gonna have, hey, you need to watch this live. Laura, like, tienes que ver eso porque, like you said, and I love that you're mentioning this. We don't have to have a degree to make a difference in someone's life. We can start this, and it's sometimes a lack of knowledge or opportunities that we don't know where to even start. So I'm happy that we're having this conversation. Every time Giselle gives me a guess, I'm like, okay, cool, okay, yes, and then I look into it and I'm like, okay. But with you, I was like, wait, she's a student. I thought, we're talking about a foundation here and everything. I'm like, but she's a student. She's because it's a community college, right? Miami-Dade. It's a community college student we're talking about here, And I'm like, this is cool. Like, I love this. I mean, this is all in my lane. So thank you, Giselle, for connecting us. Okay, so what have been some of the challenges with the foundation?
Well, I would definitely say doing something that is so grassroots and community oriented, you do stumble you do stumble upon a lot of problems, sometimes engaging different people, sometimes when you're dealing with students, like you were saying, being a college student, just because we go to community college is not any less difficult. There's still a lot of challenges, especially at the honors college. We're held to a different standard and we are always busy. We're always involved in so many other projects. So sometimes it's kind of getting students to stop, sit, and reflect on what they're doing, which I think Miami-Dade College does a really great job of doing that with all of our students. So really fortunate on that end. But I love what I do. So even the long nights, the hard nights, I mean, my parents are there through it all. Some of my professors have seen it too. The hardest things don't feel like the hardest things after the fact, because you do it with so much love, and you do it when you see the pictures of the children in Venezuela getting, for example, their gifts or their pajamas, or when you're handing out PPE, it kind of, all of that goes away. So
yeah. I 100% with you. I see here Professor sending you some shout outs. Yes, like yo, por ejemplo, I have my own Instagram page, right? But as a riser, and I do my things there. I do Instagram lives. I do all this stuff, and I don't get paid essentially. Like, that's not my career. Like, I have my own job, right? So like, I got my own things. I got life. Pero all the Instagram lives that I do with my podcast and all the stuff, the collaborations where I get to share my story, when I get to hear other people's story, I love doing it. Like right now, you and I, like, I love doing this. Like, yes, it could be a lot of work sometimes, a lot of work of like, okay, I need to plan this. I'm going to do this. I want to touch on mental health. I want to touch on this. And sometimes I am exhausted. I ain't gonna lie, which I'm sure you are as well, because you're balancing being a student. You're doing all these. You're also trying to live life.
yeah.
La vida, like, we're going back to, like, hopefully normal, whatever that means. But we do it because nuestro corazón está ahí, right? So like, I'm hearing from you, I'm hearing a passion and a purpose.
No, like you just said, sometimes tienes tantas cosas que quieres hacer, o sea, tienes 5,000 proyectos like that are just there that you want to handle, and that might be the most challenging part, is thinking, oh my God, I don't have time to do all of it, but I want to do all of it at some point. So it's kind of organizing your ideas to try and get it all done. I think sometimes that might be a challenge.
Yeah, and and at the end of the day, like, for you, for anybody else out there, for even for myself, like, it's okay to ask for help, no? And it's okay sometimes to stop. It's okay to, you have a good support system. You say you have your parents, you have classmates, friends, colleagues, etc. And it's okay to ask for the help, no? And moving on that lines, like who inspires you, or what inspires you?
Well, keeping the theme, my parents are a huge inspiration to me. Every day, I'm so fortunate that they decided to leave their family and to leave the home that they had grown up in and the country that they knew, for the possibility of giving me a better future. I mean, they came to the United States not really knowing how this country was going to greet them, and they have stayed here. They've been here for 20 years now, and I think they have done a wonderful job raising me, and I think they've done a wonderful job, just being in the United States. Um, they're my biggest inspiration.
Yes, they did. I mean, yo no te conozco, right? I don't know you. We've just been talking for like, I don't even know, like 20 minutes. But when, as a someone who gets to talk to people a lot and work with students and et cetera, you can just tell when someone's like cool, like legit. You know what I mean? Like, yo te puedo ver a ti, digo, yes, your
Thank
parents
you.
did an amazing job. Like, I want to meet your parents now, because I'm like, give me some tips. So whenever I become a parent, I want to be able to raise an amazing daughter as well, you know, because they've done a super awesome job. So props, shout out to mom and dad. Okay, entonces, a ver, vamos aquí unas.
They're watching, they're watching.
Oh, they are. Bueno, pues saludos a mamá y papá, han hecho un trabajo increíble. Me está inspirando su hija, de que digo, wow, I'm going to have to go in now whenever I talk to my students and be like, no, you know what? You can do everything and anything. Like, tienes el potencial. Let's think bigger than just a college degree. Let's think much bigger than that, you know? So for you, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Where do you just, you know, if you think about like 20, 26, 27, where is Laura?
I'm in law school. Still haven't graduated yet. So studying a law degree, but I'm right there. I'm gonna be a 2L in law school. Hopefully with a really wonderful internship in a judicial office, most likely under my belt, and just continuing working forward. I still want to continue doing my work with the nonprofit. I still want to be able to help first generation students like myself. I think it's really important to leave the door open for those that come after us, and kind of be a guide for them. And I definitely would love to be working in something related to public policy and trying to institute change in the country for the better.
Yes. I mean, yo veo a ti una persona que we're going to be seeing you in un futuro, you know, not just like even larger than what you're even thinking at the moment, no? Like, I think in 5 years from now, your mind's going to be such like, sabes que, like, we're talking about like big things, you know, like, I don't want to say I'm like, no, I don't want to jinx it, but really big things. And cuando eso pase, because it will happen, I'm going to tell the people around me, be like, you know what? I spoke to her back in the day, you know, like her and I, we talked. We're cool, you know. I'm gonna screenshot this and be like, I know her. Look, she's amazing. Like, I knew her when she was like younger. So like, I'm really, I can see it. Like, this is super cool. Okay, so we're talking about service. We're talking about your story. Why is it important for people to give back? You know, it doesn't matter the age. Why is it just important to just give back to your community?
I think service and giving back to your community, sometimes people misconstrue what that really is, and they kind of there's a little bit of a miscommunication on what service is really, but I think it's important because I think you learn a lot about yourself when you're giving back to others. And I think people think that giving back is just doing certain actions like what you see on TV, like soup kitchens, or just donating clothes, or just doing different kinds of things. But there's so many different ways that you can do service can be through education. You can be hosting different panels for people, and you can just be starting conversations. That's service. That's giving back to your community. Starting different initiatives, like, that's service. And like I said, there's so much that you learn about yourself once you get the chance to really reflect inward and see what you care about and what you can push out into the world. So I think service is great, not just for what you're doing for others, but there's such a personally rewarding aspect to service. But obviously what you're doing for other people is always appreciated, and it's always going to be the main thing that you should be thinking about when doing service, because it's definitely one of the most selfless acts that we can do.
My mom always says, cuando tú ayudas a una persona, I mean, you know, throwing religion in here, but cuando tú ayudas a otra persona, Dios te lo va a regresar 2 veces mejor, ¿no? Te va a ir mejor en la vida. And I'm like, okay, mom. But it's true, you know, like there's something beautiful of helping others in any way. Like, and I like that you mentioned service can be in any different way, a tu propia manera. It doesn't have to be just this or just that. You know, there's many ways of giving back, providing a service, and helping others, which I think, like you said, it's something that it should be like some, no sé, algo natural en las personas.
Claro, I think of service as not one size fits all. So I think if more people thought about it that way, we would have more people engaged within our communities and giving back. And I'm also fortunate to be, like I said before, from Miami. And in Miami, there's una cultura to just give back all the time. And there's always wonderful acts happening. And it's very ingrained into the culture that is Miami.
You're probably like, I don't know what's, you're like, no sé, 5th or 6th person who I connect who is from Miami. I've never been, but I'm like, you know what? I think I need to make a trip now. And like, they talk about, these people are amazing. They talk about great things. Like, almost on Miami. Don't gonna say, you know, I need to get that inspiration. No, but I do agree with you. Like, being part of a space where you see it a lot, it becomes like, okay, cool. Like it's normal to me. Growing up in spaces where maybe you're like the only Latino family, etc., might be a little bit more challenging. No, so it's just like you've been, you know, growing up there and having a great support system. Like, that's amazing. Like, we need more spaces like that. More, like I told you, more people like your parents, more people like the teacher who's helped you, professors who are helping you, people like you. We need more people like that in todo el país, en todo el mundo, no? Okay, if you could provide one advice to the Latinx student in college right now, what would it be?
Never get discouraged. No matter how things are going for you, no matter how long the nights are, no matter what did not go your way, keep going at it. Something that I've been practicing a lot during college has been sometimes rejection is just redirection. And life has shown that to me multiple times. So I definitely think that college is just take it all in and go with the flow essentially, really. But don't ever get discouraged. I mean, todo pasa por una razón, and you have to let that reason, you know, come naturally.
Yes, 100%. Como te digo, esta conversación, I'm going to give it to my students. Yeah, you need to listen to this because la escuela, el colegio, la universidad, and life will throw, it's not going to be easy. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to apply and it's going to be all happiness. No, it's going to challenge you. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be days where you're going to be like, what am I doing? And there's going to be days where I'm like, yes, I got this. You were saying it earlier. But I think if you find mentors and you find a support system, you find balance, take care of yourself. And like you said, sometimes all you got to do is just go with the flow, connect with others, and not feel like you need to have all these answers. Poco a poquito, yo creo que it just makes a lot of sense. Like you said, life would direct you to where you're supposed to go, no? Where you're supposed to be. All right, last question. I do want to touch on your foundation. How can people be supportive or involved or apoyarlos a ustedes en su fundación?
Bueno, la mejor forma de apoyarnos is to follow the Instagram at CCHH Foundation. Unfortunately, we weren't able to join from that one, but that's the best way to support, just because I'm always posting things on there in English and in Espanol, so that people can read, so that people can follow. Currently, on November 29th, we're going to be launching the Spanish version of the first generation college guides, and we are going to hope to continue posting more videos, hopefully one on time management skills, maybe one on if you're an international student that did not graduate from a United States high school, how to apply to college here. We're trying to do a lot of different things aside just from the normal guide. But again, on November 29th, that will be available in Spanish. Currently, it is up on our website in English in the link in my bio for this Instagram. It's all up there, the YouTube channel, like you said, and the website. And currently, I am hosting alongside with FNE International a monetary donation drive to host holiday meals for people in Venezuela and in Nicaragua, because FNE is based in Nicaragua. But this is a great initiative that I'm doing with students from the Honors College and with Professor Sendin. So that's underway right now. That's
cool. I will tag, or I see Professor Sendin posting that the @ of the foundation. So I will put it on the description, you know.
Yeah.
And if you like, if you can add also what you said as a comment, etc., so people can be like, oh yeah, cool, like she said it, like I can see it, like okay, I'll follow it. But I will put the ad on there, and yeah, I mean, I love what you're doing also with like not just also with the first generation initiative that you're doing. In any way, shape, or form that I can be a service for you all and be supportive and como sea. You know, estoy super ocupadísimo, but I think I really love this isn't something started by students. You know, you are students. I can just be, you know, a person, hey, you know, como yo puedo apoyarlos en lo que sea, whether it's like a mentorship, whatever, como sea. Me pongo a su
Claro.
servicio de ustedes, no? So just, I will be, if I can't do it, then I can find others who can be supportive as well, like different fields, etc., etc., etc. So just in any way, just know that you have an ally, un apoyo in me, and it's been such an honor to share a little about your story, your passion, and your purpose today. And sigue adelante como tú. Toma tu propio consejo, no, sigue adelante, because you, like I said, you have such potential to make a difference, not just in certain people's lives, and muchísima, like we're talking about a country here. So
Gracias.
you don't go, no sé, you don't say. I'm just saying. So thank you so much. Anything last, any last shout outs you would like to provide? Any last un comentario final que quisieras decir?
Muchísimas gracias a Be Latina for offering me this space and for allowing us to have this conversation. I am a firm believer that dialogue is a great way to move forward into the future. So, muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Muchas gracias a todos for showing her love. Remember to stay safe, take care, be authentic, be real, be Latina. Gracias.